couple weeks ago, I attended, along with our campus team manager, Phil Brodsky, here today, a meeting at the Boston University Students for Israel. And there were about 15 of the brightest, most sophisticated young Israel activists I've ever seen. They had a list of 500 student groups on campus that they were plowing through to figure out which ones had the greatest currency at Boston University. And they were figuring out how to reach out to them, not to counter Israel Apartheid Week, which was coming up, but to advance the goals of Israel Peace Week. And they actually acknowledged us, we should have been doing this at the beginning of the year, not waiting for Israel Peace Week, which was a great revelation on their part. We should have been doing this all along. Perhaps you and others will start to help us in this process moving forward. So observation number one about the youth, they were extremely well organized, extremely well coached, and extremely sophisticated. Two, these students were actually facing some significant challenges on campus. As Jonathan said, it wasn't a cakewalk on campus. There were groups working overtime, trying to make Israel look bad. The third is that these students were decidedly not oppressed. In other words, yes, they were facing challenges, but they were not oppressed. They were not in a hostile environment at Boston University. I'm not saying that's never happened in any school in the country. I'm sure there are places, and we've seen some of them over time, where you could argue that there is a hostile environment for students. But that is not the defining experience on the college campus today for virtually every Jewish student. In fact, if anything, these students were exceptionally empowered. And I think we have to understand that's fundamentally the reality that we're dealing with and we're working with. Knowing that there's a challenge and that there's a problem, but it's not a hostile one primarily, should force us to think a little bit more about what it means to be strategic on the college space. How can we have effective conversations, not with talking points. Talking points are great when you go on CNN for 30 seconds and you're debating somebody and you need to get a message out there. What they're going to be in is in a dormitory, or they're going to be having coffee with other students who are different than themselves. That takes place over time. It's not a 30-second endeavor. It's a long-term endeavor. They have to be able to have sophisticated, nuanced, thoughtful conversations that unfold over time, that are educational and are inspiring to the people that they're working with.